So for the final part of sketching Leonardo DiCaprio, we are going to focus on how to make beard, mustache, smaller mustache, only smaller parts and lips, then how to blend lip part with the center part of teeth and the cloth that Leonardo is wearing, or the final part is more focused on how to make smaller things like beard. So after making every part possible with the grid method, we are going to focus first of all on the direction or how we are going to use a rubber or eraser to make more highlights. As we all know that mono eraser is the smallest thing, and you can use mono eraser for making highlights or skin texture or this type of things. But the common rubber or circular rubber that you having from the stationery, you can use to make a bigger highlights, as the completely left side part of face of Leonardo and completely right hand side part of the cheek part is a little bit more darker, and the center part of nose is having straight whiter part on the nose, center of the nose. So to make using a mono eraser to make it a little bit more bigger portions, like if you are making it on a A3 sheet, there is a little bit more pressure or more spaces for making those things. So you can use a bigger rubber or circular rubber to make those highlights, as the center part of cheek is a little bit more highlighted as compared to furthermore left hand side part. So for the center part, you can use a circular rubber to make highlights, but only parts which are a little bit more highlighted you should focus while zooming out your pictures, and you will see more and more details. So after applying this type of details, now we are going to focus on the downside or the chin part and the details that you have on the mustaches, lips part. So main part of lips is that you should not make shadows or darken every part of upper lip or lower lip. You should focus on upper lip and downside part of upper lip, where the teeth are starting. So you should just sharpen the downside part of the upper lip and the upper part of lower lip. So these are the two things where the lips more details are going on. So first of all, make a base layer. As we all know, as we every time we make a base layer using H pencil. Now again use the same technique of H pencil to the every part of face on the left hand side part of chin, right hand side part of chin, and there are so many curls and different type of directions on skin texture also. So you should make those details also. As we all know that we have made outlines on the first part, same technique, and we have discussed in the second part how to shade outlines so that it always blended with the skin tone. And if you have applied a little bit more pressure while making outlines, it will not blended easily with the remaining part of faces. So you should focus on this detail also. And if you want to see a complete real-time sketch of this Leonardo DiCaprio and remaining every portraits that I have uploaded in this particular channel, you can check out my second channel, which is Shwet 2.0. And if you want to learn it the same portrait in Hindi language, you can check out my channel Shwet Sketches Hindi. And now we are going to focus on the lip part and the teeth part. Problem with lip and teeth is that most of the portraits doesn't have teeth, as most of the people just smile while on camera, but so many pictures are there also in which teeth are also visible. So people will make mistake while making teeth is that they will just make straight lines, but main thing is that there are not straight lines while making a teeth. Upper part of teeth, and when the two teeth are jointing, the center part will be upper smaller and lower smaller, but the middle part of lip where there is intersection is not completely dark. So you should focus that upper part of teeth and lower part of teeth is the only part where you should shade or you should make outlines. Don't make outlines for the center. And second mistake while making a teeth is that people just make a completely white teeth. As I always say that no part of face or no part of any portrait is completely white. As much as someone have made a white color on face and light source is completely straight on face, these are the exceptions where the light source will be directly on the face and every part will look more whiter. So the teeth part, you should not leave it completely white. You should just make a base layer, or you can also use a makeup brush or paint brush, which is the softest one, and the shadings of lips or a background, you should use the dust of those parts to the center of or on the teeth also. And after that you should use a mono eraser to only parts which are completely white. So using this technique you can have a realistic teeth also. And for the lip part, I will recommend that just make a base layer and then apply details to the only parts which you are having a straight lines, because just go on the mirror and see where the details of lips are going on. You will focus that there are so many parts of lips in which the straight lines, smaller lines are going on. These are the details you should apply while making a lips. So this type of portions will give you a more realistic look. So many people can make drawing, and I was also a same type of person. I was just making a completely drawing look before 8 or 9 months. So I was just making a drawings, and those were looking like a drawing, or those were looking like the portrait that I was using, but it was not giving me a completely realistic look, as someone say that it is completely look like the photograph that you are using. So this is the technique you should focus on, and applying this every techniques on your sketches will give you a so beautiful sketches. So after this thing, the chin part is having a little bit more details, and to make details or beards it is a little bit more tough when the white beard comes, but while making a black beard it's a little bit more easy. So as always, make a base layer using a H pencil, then use a 2B or B pencil and just make the hairs smaller hairs. Focus that your pencil should be sharpened as much as you want to make a little bit more pressure or pointed pressure, because if you will use a mechanical pencil it will give you completely dark look and it will not be blended easily with the background of chin or any other things. So use a 2B or 3B pencil, sharpen it using artistic way of sketching, sharpening. So after sharpening this pencil, just make smaller hairs in the direction where the beard is going on, as most of the beard comes upward to downwards and the face of Leonardo is a little bit tilted, so of course beard will go on left hand side part. So after using a 2B or 3B pencil for beard, again use makeup brush so that your beard should blend with background. So after blending it, again use a 4B or 5B pencil, as the beard of Leonardo is a little bit more darker as compared to any other part of hairs. Use a 4B pencil and sharpen it also, and use those smaller hairs above it, and then again blend it using your makeup brush to every part of face, and then finally use a pencil which is called as mechanical pencil, so that you can have a darker look and there is no need to blend it again. So this was the technique to make beards. And finally you can also use a 8B pencil or to make beards for the only parts which are completely dark. So after making this technique, again use mono eraser so that you can have highlights on beard, because beard part is not completely white. There are smaller portions which are not completely black or completely beard. Those are the parts which are a little bit more highlighted and between those smaller hairs. So after making beard, the upper part of neck, you should again make a base layer and then again use those dust of beard which is graphite dust, and again use those parts and make a first layer using a 3B pencil on the above or center part of neck, and then again blend it. You can also use a makeup brush or you can also use a tissue, but I will not recommend tissue for making those beard and downside part of beard part, because beard parts are so much smaller, and if you will blend it using a tissue it will give you a too darker look. And then finally use a black charcoal stick also on the completely flat look of the cloth that Leonardo is wearing. So this is the complete sketch or final tutorial of Leonardo DiCaprio, and we will see you in the next tutorial. And if you have any questions, just comment down below, or if you want something from me, just comment down below using Shwet Sketches or Shwet Sketches Hindi. So that was all for this tutorial. If you learned something from this video, subscribe and drop a like. Comment down your question and queries regarding this tutorial. Meanwhile, take care of your loved ones too. Have an artistic day. Tattoos.